Thinking of escaping from it all?
Just about every day.
Perhaps to a part of the country far away.
All right.
But for Steve Kozlowski,
I'm not sure what's what or what's where.
his darkened, cluttered basement
I can't believe some of the finds in here.
is sheer bliss with a beat. Steve immerses himself in song.
Most every day. I'm down here for at least 5, 6, 7 hours.
From the Bee Gees and Bach
You name it. I mean, it runs the entire gamut.
to Chopin and Shaft,
I can go back and listen to Isaac Hayes if I want to.
the 67-year-old collects vinyl.
Village People,
Lots
the originals.
of vinyl.
45s I have in here close to 2,000. 33s I probably have 3,000 to 5,000 here.
Boxes of records collected at auctions and yard sales.
This is part of the hunt. This is the stuff that I love.
Discovering musical mysteries
I haven't been through half of these boxes.
is like striking gold
I love to be able to reach in here,
for this New York native.
all right, and pull out something like this. It's an Anne Murray.
Upstairs,
It keeps him busy.
Carol, Steve's patient wife, grins and bears it.
I've given up. It's about as safe a hobby as he could possibly have.
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining.
Steve doesn't just listen. Oh no, he can carry a Christmas tune too in the middle of May.
For yonder breaks a new and glorious morn.
Steve's obsession goes far beyond phonograph fun.
When I was overseas, I lost 5 years of music.
Life has dealt Steve several sour notes.
This is where we first went in.
For half a century now, hidden demons
This was 3 months later.
have haunted this Vietnam veteran. The former U.S. Marine witnessed horrors he cannot forget.
18 of us went in country, North Vietnam, 30 miles northwest of Hanoi. 4 of us came out.
The experience in his late teens scarred him on the outside and in.
I'm here, they're not. We've got bullet holes here, bullet holes here, bullet holes here.
PTSD led to a string of unsuccessful jobs driving trucks and a failed first marriage.
Yes.
Steve was at the end of his rope.
Oh, yeah.
But rediscovering music, all genres, is slowly pulling Steve out of his dark place.
Nobody has touched that vinyl for 40, 50, 60 years. And you heard the sound and the tone quality and everything else.
His self-prescribed music therapy
Now, this,
is easing his burden.
I haven't even wiped the dust or the dirt off of this. Please don't take my sunshine away.
To see the joy and the love and the excitement in something as simple as music, it just makes me very happy to see that. He deserves it. It is gorgeous.
These days, Steve is sharing his love of lyrics on tour. It's a painful journey for this veteran. His destination, the same hallowed venue, over and over again.
It's a stress reliever. It relieves some of the pain that I have.
Each month or so, Steve performs at the Virginia War Memorial.
12,000 names on here. And to be able to share it with a young gentleman like this right here. Thank you for your service, sir. All right, I appreciate it. All right, you led the way for me.
This proud Marine sings the same tune to the same audience.
From sea to shining sea.
He truly believes they're listening to his very own Band-Aid.
God don't leave America.
Steve Kozlowski says his brothers and sisters in arms who never came home also deserve a song to finally soothe their soul.
I gave some, they gave all. And the little bit that I can give back by singing, right, or sharing my music and things like this, it's the least that I can do.
That was beautiful. I mean,
That's to you, my brothers and sisters.
It's great. I never thought I'd ever be doing this.
Good things may come to those who wait.
All right. Got you.
But Don Parthry lost hope long ago.
You're our champ. You want some help?
This very moment has been eluding Don for nearly 25 years.
I still can't believe it.
A reunion of sorts with the most important man in his life.
That's my father.
As far as we know, that footlocker has not been opened since 1966.
Amateur historian Walker Galding loves a good mystery,
My curiosity got the best of me.
especially the wooden one sitting on his dining room table in Warsaw.
So it's like a time capsule in every way. It's just a time capsule.
Months ago, this sturdy footlocker
The condition is really amazing.
was saved from a hungry dumpster by Walker's friend Roger Briney with seconds to spare.
As I lifted the lid up and saw the flag, the guy that at the dumpster hit the button and was starting to crush.
Inside, old glory and a lifetime of memories. But whose?
It's that lost connection to who they are.
Walker was determined.
We found this down in the bottom of the footlocker, and it's just a tiny little Bible.
The Hanover native soon realized a Colonel Clyde Parthry once owned the footlocker.
There's the man they called the old gray fox, Colonel Parthry.
Piles of pictures and mounds of mementos paint a crisp image.
You can interpret a little bit about this guy's life because you've got so much of it.
Parthry flew troops and supplies into battle during World War II.
This guy was the real deal. He was the real deal.
Newest wingless wonder from the draft boards of U.S. aviation experts.
As a test pilot, Parthry manned experimental aircraft like the Wingless Wonder.
But will it fly?
That's the colonel in this newsreel from 1942.
You feel like you know a little something about this guy.
Parthry even flew grateful world leaders like the King of Belgium around the globe.
So the king personally signs this photo and gives to the colonel.
Parthry was on the tarmac at Andrews Air Force Base when President Kennedy's body was returned from Dallas.
These special military passports, I'd never seen anything that looked like this.
For Walker, the locker's contents were more than just American history, but someone's family history.
Just like his service belt, a bolo tie, more flight instrumentation instruments.
I couldn't believe that this guy's entire life ended up in this box.
Friend Nigel Mulvina offered to help search for descendants.
I had made it my mission that night. I actually didn't sleep very much that night.
Nigel would hit Parthry pay dirt.
The footlocker just seemed to disappear.
Parthry survivors tracked down in Maryland were eager to reclaim their past.
It had always been something my dad had asked about because his father's flag was in it.
It's all uphill.
Which brings us,
Oh my God.
to Don Parthry's long journey to Virginia.
Yep.
do you want to sit down?
An emotional son. Finally opening a once lost chapter of his life. For the 79-year-old, this reunion is almost too much to bear.
Here's her marriage license.
Years of wondering finally put to rest. Don thinks the locker, which was in his sister's possession, was simply tossed after her passing.
My father's passport, July 18th, 1956.
Don is eternally grateful for the generosity and persistence of three strangers.
Well, I guess the flag wasn't in here.
There's just one more item, something Don yearned for. This heirloom, the most treasured.
Oh.
The very flag which draped Clyde Parthry's coffin 51 years ago. Don doesn't plan on letting go.
And I'm so happy for having it now, so.
Just like his cherished memories.
If I remember 2 or 3 things
I'll treasure this.
the rest of my life, that's going to be one of them.
Yep, I read the look on that man's face.
And what they gave back to him, they gave him back a priceless memory. There's no price on that.
For Don Parthry,
Thank you, and I thank you.
this long overdue reunion was well worth the wait.
You've made me feel real good again.
The day his father's locker is finally going home.
For the rest of us, this is an interesting story. For Don, this is his story.
Hey guys, let's get it started. We're going to start in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting hours doesn't bother Robbie Stats.
First come, first serve for best spot.
The man from Ladysmith is making sure he's front and center
I'm here about every weekend.
well before showtime.
You just open the sunroof and let the stars look at you.
Robbie and wife Christy sit so close they can almost taste the popcorn.
It's a popular place. They love us.
This is no carnival or concert. Behind these gates, workers are buzzing.
We get here 2 or 3 hours before we open. Yeah, it's a big deal.
They're prepping for hundreds of customers who want to go back, way back.
You guys can head down and wait at the ticket booth.
This is the Goochland Drive-In, affectionately called the GDIT.
John Heidel is introducing a new generation to the old way of watching movies.
Hi, welcome to Goochland Drive-In. Just do tonight.
The drive-in is not about necessarily the movie, it's about the experience of it all.
Many doubted John's dream of a drive-in from scratch would fly.
There are a myriad of reasons not to do it.
Once a staple on the American landscape with more than 4,000 locations,
All right, here you go.
drive-ins have dwindled to just about 300.
That's the Big Daddy right there. That's 40 by 80.
Now, in its 8th season, loyal and new customers
Doodles.
return to yesteryear
Yeah. Can I get a Gooch dog, please?
week after week.
Now, up 2 notches to number 3.
Right down to Casey Kasem's countdown.
At drive-in, people come because they want to be here. They don't have to come. They want to.
John left his sales and marketing job behind, pouring his life savings into opening GDIT, a decision he doesn't regret.
We're helping people make memories. We're selling an experience.
It really is a pleasure to be here and just in this environment outside.
Denise and Calvin Smith from Chesterfield drove more than an hour to turn back the clock.
It's like magic. It's like a time warp. So we're slipping back tonight into the 70s and the 80s and the 60s. It's beautiful.
The 48-year-old Heidel says reviving the drive-in is nonstop, so his customers can slow down.
You're in a bubble from the world. There's no drama. There's no stress.
When Mother Nature turns off her lights, it's showtime.
It's a family place to come.
On this night, a double feature for half the price.
It's cool.
But not before 15 minutes of retro commercials. It's all part of John Heidel's vision, which on most summer nights is hindsight.
It is so nice that it's resonated with people.
The main attraction at this theater, a real, simple time.
I just took an old, antiquated form of entertainment and kind of just stuck it in the middle of the 21st century.
In Goochland.
When they come here, you're unplugging from the world.
I'm Greg McQuade, CBS 6 News.